Thank you so much. Yes, a big one. The first best of three. The desk have covered all of the bases. Thank you to Sadakist, Pimp, and Sean. There is some fire in the booth over there.
They're having a good time over there.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think there might be
there's a lot of tension
fisticuffs between Pimp and Sado. We'll see. But G2 versus Mouse. Let's get this party started. I'm Machine, he's Henry, and I'm intrigued to see if we get that third map. I'm crossing everything I can that I get to cast Vertigo.
I came into this major thinking we wouldn't see Vertigo at all. I'll be more than happy to cast it. You and I played a lot, Alex.
We played a little too much, some would say.
You and I live with each other, with Chad, and we sit there alone every night playing Vertigo all day.
Wingman Vertigo, by the way.
Just saying to ourselves, one day we're gonna cast this map, we're gonna know everything about it. So I'm so ready. Let's hope it comes through. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, your first best of three of this major. It's Mousesports versus G2. And we'll see what happens here as G2 will start on the CT side. The pick of Mousesports is Dust 2 coming up next, which is a great map for both squads.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
It really is, yeah, for sure. I'm hoping that we get to see some early resistance, though, on Train. It's a map that, of course, both teams familiar with. Mousesports did lose their Mirage. It was G2 to take that one away. But into the pistol, and the first bullet is connected. Shocks to the brain of Rops. He was somewhat of a lone wolf. He had one man alongside him. It was Woxic towards upper at the moment.
Was he boosted when he killed Rops?
I didn't get to...
I think I'm looking at the X on the scoreboard right now. It looks like he was killed when he was boosting up on the brown horse. I'm going to check that out. Take it away, Alex.
You go investigate, because Kenny's already charging straight out towards green. Chris posturing pop.
Dude, it was.
Walking out.
He was boosted. And the brown horse, and Shocks one-tapped him from the back of the B-bomb site.
That's absurd. What a first blood.
We need a replay of that. Not sure if anyone's hearing this, but we need the replay right now. Get it ready.
That's not a shot you're expecting to take. Nice work from Kenny. Catches Carrigan as he walks out main. Looking for a second fight and gets it. Frozen didn't quite find the shot already. The French firing on all cylinders. That's the end of that one. So precise.
Oh, more of that. That's very nice from G2 there. Excellent shots. I need to see that Shoxy replay though, because that shot, like, you very rarely see a kill come either way. For the T's or the CTs. On a pistol where you can barely see the boost, he somehow gets the one tap there. I'm really interested to see whether Rops even got some shots off.
Like, I just dismissed it. I saw the frag, I saw Shox's position. I'm like, okay, Rops probed ramp.
Yeah.
Not the case.
If we don't get a replay, someone clip it and get it to me on the demo.
Please.
I'll retweet you.
Give you all the love.
Oh, here we go. Maybe. Oh, they're not even. I don't think they realised.
Yeah. Didn't have Shox's POV locked and loaded, but great work from Kenny and Lucky. We can see that one again.
All right, someone's going to have to clip it from the demo.
Just like that. No worries. First round goes the way of the French and just the Deagles for Mouse.
Well then, there is going to be some investment into round number 2, Alex, but not too much. Rops has got armor, the rest of them are Deagles and no nades, but Carrigan, he's been great this tournament. One of his best in recent memory. He'll be taken down early, and Rops will take a little bit of damage there from the flames of the incendiary. He'll have to go back up towards the upper area of Pop Dog. 5 versus 4 with no grenades. It's unlikely they do much with this, but a couple of 1-digs will certainly help out. I think that'll be excellent, but Jax, very assertive, his push towards main entrance. He'll take down Frozen, and some spams coming through. You can see there's a little bit of damage there. Need to get the dinks in to do anything significant.
Woxic's managed to kind of crawl up Ivy. There is Kenny with the scout, but that's a weapon that can be easily overwhelmed. Certainly, if there's any knowledge of his position, should he scope, the information's there. Amanex just going to take all the fights. A lovely aggressive hold from the double SMGs. And that's Woxic just making his presence known on Ivy. Great shot. Will pick up the scout, and he's no slouch with this. He can at least continue to do some economical damage. The flash will force him off the angle for now. He's being pushed, and Lucky likely to get this frag any moment now. Woxic's given a shot, and only one, I would assume. My goodness, Lucky's back away. He doesn't want to make any mistakes. Doesn't want to lose that AUG, doesn't want to lose that Kevlar. Can't blame him. 2-0 to start off our first best of 3. Day 2. G2 2-0, picking it up, Train the first map of it.
The AKs will come out now. Rops can still afford the AK, even though he had D4 armor in the previous round. He has $3,900, and he can get an AK armor and a flashbang. He'll have $200 left over for that bit of utilities, so that's what he gets. And Frozen will be the last one to buy there. No AWPs available for Woxic, but they've got enough firepower here to take on the likes of G2. They've got an SMG in pairs. They've got Amanek and Jax with a UMP and MP9, respectively. Kenny S with the glass cannon AWP. Want to see him really pop off. It's always a good show on Train when he turns up.
And Kenny's been, he's been talking about his preparations for the major. I think the conversation that the desk have had, I think it was actually yesterday, just talking about, I think Chad mentioning it, that Vitality's success has inspired and motivated G2.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, seeing your ex-teammates thrive, be given the #2 title in the world, that's going to do something to you.
Well, they've been bootcamping hard for a long time. Kenny lives on the same island as we do, and we haven't seen him in Malta for the last month or so. He's been bootcamping the entire time. So.
Finishes it off. Amanek holding that Ivy excursion, but I'm pretty sure another slip through. Yes, Chris J has slipped the net.
This is big, actually. They're going right towards the inside as well, but he has been spotted, but he manages to hit the headshot there. They're going for an inside play, and Shoxy looks ready. All to come down the road. They will indeed. He gets the first, but not going to find two. 3 versus 3. Orb still up, but Kenny is low.
Chris J will finally be caught off guard. Amanek gets it as the bomb falls in. Frozen. One behind that plant. Where's his weapon gone? Finds it. Now, Rops, he could get the timing right. I'd love to have that X-ray back, but nice connection. Amanek gone. Kenny and Jax, it's not ideal. That AWP glass cannon for a retake, it just doesn't feel realistic.
Yeah, with no kid especially, I don't think they will have much of a chance here. Jax has to do something quite special at this point. He comes into the low ramp, finds one, no problem at all there, but he can't defuse at this point. It looks like it's too far gone. He will certainly give it a go, but Rob should be able to find him, no problem. I say
it's
that.
planted up, 4 seconds, he's ignoring him. The call's not being made, spray! Can't find him, a 10-second ninja!
I can't
Jax
believe
on the bomb!
I can't believe
the comms wasn't there, Frozen planted, he didn't check it.
He must have assumed it was clear that he just touched the bomb and got off it, but he just left that alone. He was so convinced that they weren't on that bomb. Maybe he thought they'd have a defuse kit. He was hoping that that wasn't going to be the case. But there it is, the full 10-second defuse, where Rops arguably had an advantage there. He had so much working in his favor.
Oh, they did all of the heavy lifting. That trade from Frozen was everything at the start. He was on ramp, manages to catch Shox's aggression, but this is how it ends. I mean, if you rewind, the words coming out of your mouth were, they can't do this anymore. This is impossible. Kenny had a glass cannon AWP, he only had an MP9.
10-second defuse, I didn't think that'd be on the agenda, to be honest with you.
You know what? You'll be forgiven. You will be forgiven.
Because he could have legit just jumped up and knifed him.
Yeah, anything.
Like, Kenny wasn't even there to take him down. He could have just knifed him. But he went for the spray, didn't work out. And Voxic, once again, has issues, ladies and gentlemen. That mouse,
you're joking.
It's causing a little bit of trouble over that. He's had issues at the start of every game,
I imagine the admin team have already got like 7 mice prepared. They're like, mousesports are playing later, let's go shopping.
Well, they're moving the mouse around. It's definitely a mouse issue, but looks like they're like, it's about good, mate.
It's time for me to remind you of what's happened yesterday.
Go for it. Give us a roundup of yesterday.
Okay, a quick TLDR of mousesports games. They, actually went on record in that interview. We heard the coach talking about it. He said that that win versus, I think it was actually against the Vanguard, they didn't necessarily feel like they deserved it. Yeah, and during that match, Woxic and the entire squad, of course, had to wait it out for a long tech pause. His mouse has been causing issues since day one. He actually took to Twitter recently saying that after the pistol round, I actually have his Twitter open, I'll give you the verbatim. 1-0 but tilted. Had to play after pistol round with a different mouse, which costs €5. I guess my mouse doesn't work anymore. Now,
just to be clear, the fact you have to put a €5 mouse, that suggests that no one on the mousesports team has brought a spare mouse.
Well, I actually think that this is actually primarily due to the fact that he's left-handed. Looking for an ambidextrous mouse.
You're right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So you can't just use any mouse. It has to be a flat mouse, essentially.
Well, it has to be ambidextrous.
He uses,
the Sensei, I can tell you all the ambidextrous mice because I've used them. From the Diamondback 3G, the Sensei, the Xi, the G Pro.
Lots of Logitech mouse.
Lots of those.
Mouses. The plural for computer mouse is not mice. It's mouses, yeah.
Well, hello, information.
There you go. A little tidbit for you, Alex.
Thank you for subscribing to Mice Facts.
Yeah, there you go. I always say mice because it sounds weird saying mouses, but technically it's peripherals, it's mouses, yeah.
Ooh.
I know, it's not pretty, is it?
Yeah. I saw a really fun question that they were using. They were talking about the collective words for things that don't have collective words. You know how there's a murder of crows?
Yeah,
exactly. There's a flourish of flamingos.
Yep.
But there was a
gaggle of casters.
Yeah, a gaggle of
Yeah, go on.
But there was lots of, there's a long thread on Twitter of people just suggesting, like, one was for Portaloos, and people were making their suggestions.
Okay.
And I loved, someone came up with a flush.
A flush of Portaloos. Yeah, that's not bad, actually.
It's fun.
That's good.
It's a fun challenge to play, When
was the last time you used a Portaloo? You had to think back.
It was in Cologne, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I had a real unfortunate
Carnival or something?
Well, okay, so there was this kind of mysterious brown substance all over the Portaloo floor.
Mysterious? Well, I couldn't work out what it was.
I was operating under the assumption that, there were leaves present in the area.
Sure.
And I'm thinking,
a few leaves.
I'm thinking rainfall, and I'm thinking squishy leaves.
Brown, like oozy sort of liquid.
Yeah,
leaves.
Leaves, I would assume,
Yeah.
you know, and there I am kind of playing Tetris with my feet, trying to find 2 safe spaces to stand to continue my business. Henry, how did we get here so quick? This has been a 5-second timeout. Why am I talking about my toilets?
Well, mousesports have this. We know that his
this
issues
is a long one, yeah.
are not going to be quick to fix. This is going to be following them around the whole tournament. They need to get on this. Do you want to continue with some more jokes and stories, or do you want to go to a break? What would you like to do? It's going to be a long game, you know.
It's a long game. I'm going to keep the jokes saved.
Okay.
And we'll take a quick
Save
one.
the gold as we'll take a break. We'll sort this technical issue out, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with this epic best of 3 very shortly.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate your patience. Voxix Mouse has once again reared its ugly head to cause some issues.
Scuttled away into the hole, hasn't it?
It has.
It's not ideal, but it's a naughty little mouse.
If you have joined us during that, a lot of lessons learned actually during that break. A lot about Greyhound, which talking about their hours, their investment, and I mean big life changes in pursuit of greatness. It hasn't been fantastic for the Australian team, but
Not
of course,
so far.
Close but no cigar. They were pushed by Crazy. Of course, Crazy continued to beat Furia in the very same day, so it's not to be snuffed at.
But for Greyhound now, the best of three start. That's where they can really thrive. If they've got something to prove at this event, best of three format, if they're going to go crash out 0-3, that would be terrible. I don't think they will, but I feel like they still have a lot more to show us what they can do. Then now they have to have the perfect run. They need 3 best of 3 wins in a row, Alex.
We've seen it many times.
We have seen it.
I mean, I think the North American major champions.
I think they'd have something to say about that. It definitely can be done, and maybe you learn more from your losses than you do your victories, I think. So I feel like that will be something. Oh my goodness, Voxix, he's still buggering around. So it doesn't look great. I'm not sure if the mouse is broken. I'm not sure what the software is going to.
It works and then stops working.
It's just, it's broken. I think if we're stopping every game like this for 20 minutes at a time, it must just be broken. There's no two ways about it. That's the only one we've got. Chad Burchill, shout out to him, the good Samaritan that he is.
Awesome.
He just ordered Voxix 2 brand new Sensei Raws on Amazon. They'll be here on the 27th. So that's good lad Chad, sorting them out. So he's going to at least have a mouse going on to the major, courtesy of one of our analysts.
Yeah, and I want to check, did he order the glossy or the
He did both.
Okay, good.
He got the rubber and the glossy.
Yeah, I'm going to assume Voxix on the rubber.
Yes.
I've seen people take sandpaper to that gloss finish.
I don't like the gloss finish. I've got sweaty hands.
Me too,
They start getting all slippery. I don't like it at all.
I struggle with gloss.
This could take a while. So we came back from this break hoping we would be ready to go. You can see 3 admins and indeed Frozen behind.
It looks like they've been given the green light to take their headphones off as well.
Yeah.
Like typically during a technical pause, you want the players to stay absolutely silent. It doesn't look like the G2 have been given the freedom to have a full team talk. Of course, rules do need to be upheld, but we are receiving word that it's nearing completion, expecting this one to be wrapped up quickly, and perhaps he's just doing the final checks on, I would assume, a new mouse.
Well then. So if you are just joining us, this is the first best of 3 of the major so far, and we'll kind of break you through the journey as we got here so far. So we've got mousesports and G2, 2 of the bigger names in this stage of the tournament. You wouldn't expect necessarily these names to be in the challenger section, but mousesports, great success yesterday against Fords and Avangard, taking on the CIS region single-handedly. They built 2 wins there, one of which was very close, both in Inferno, but Avangard got into overtime, but mousesports closed it out. That was a great game. We really enjoyed that one.
That was still the highlight for me so far.
That was a lot of fun.
Really, really, and Vanguard kind of robbed. I mean, I think mousesports have even acknowledged that they felt like they were lucky to pick up the double win, but now, of course, puts them in good stead to get themselves to the Legend stage, untarnished record. And
then we have G2 on the other side. They played Overpass twice yesterday, so both teams replicating their performances in doubles, and we're going to see them beating Tyloo 16-10 and Dream Eater 16-9. So Overpass worked out very well for them. This is the first best of 3 of the entire event. Third map is Vertigo. If we get there, it's Dust 2 next, Train first. 3 very exciting maps for this particular matchup.
Yeah, and just the fact that G2 beat Dream Eaters 16-9, I want to add some context. Dream Eaters have also beaten NRG and Vitality at this tournament.
Indeed.
If you were looking for a kind of a litmus test of G2's form, and you look at Tyloo Dream Eaters, it's easy to disregard that and say, we haven't seen them tested. They're 1 away from the major, and I think we've already seen them tested by the
that should be
CIS
reiterated.
squad.
At the end of this best of 3, we'll have our first team through to the next stage of the tournament, the round of 16. So that's a big deal, and it means you get a lot of time off at this point. If you qualify today, you get a lot of time in between this section and the next one.
And already lying in wait in the Legends stage, and I'll give you a list of some of the most delectable Counter-Strike treats.
Yes, that's a good point. We haven't even got to the main stage of the tournament yet. We've got some big, heavy hitters coming in.
Yeah, the likes of Astralis getting to see more from the Danes after they have dipped out of the limelight thanks to the North Americans of Team Liquid, also present in the Legend stage. Ninjas in Pajamas undergoing some changes and somewhat of a caveat there. Greyhounds, they think they are the hardest hitters from the Australian region. Well, Renegades are in the Legend stage to see what they can say about that. FaZe Clan, MIBR, Na'Vi, and of course ENCE, which a recent change announcement has put them under the microscope. Their last event, and it's the major with Alexi B.
Well, headphones are going on, Alex.
Hello.
So, we might be onto something here. Voxix has at least got his in-ears in, and we'll see if that is going to be indicative as to whether we're going to start or not. Well, it doesn't look like it just yet on the G2 side. They cannot talk, unfortunately for them, but they can relax. Having the headset, the big helicopter headset over the in-ears, can be quite painful, so you might as well take it off and release some pressure, and you can just hang out. You can't really communicate, just to sit there in silence, and they're still... I'm not sure what Voxic is up to. He looks like he's tinkering away at things.
He certainly is.
But I'm not sure what he could be doing with a broken mouse. What could he possibly be changing? What settings could be done?
How many times can you just move it on the mouse mat and go, yep, definitely broken?
It feels like it's broken, guys. Not gonna lie to you, it feels broken. Again, same thing as yesterday. Not sure why I thought it would work today, but here we are.
I do think if we have an opportunity to get a microphone in front of Voxic just to clear up exactly what's been happening over on that stage, it would be very interesting. I'm sure the community's interested as well. I saw a big discussion about the mouse issue following mousesports' victory with, I think they were saying in the interview he was changing his sense, Henry. In that Vanguard match, Voxic was fiddling with his sensitivity mid-game.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
Gross.
It's like the worst thing that can happen at this level, because not only are you having to compromise and use something else or setting you're not used to, it's playing on the back of your mind as well. He's caused this, could be like a 20-minute delay at this point. It happened again yesterday. It's going to tilt his teammates. Everyone's just thinking, why are we going through this at this level of the game?
A slight kind of... addition I'd like to make, though, is that this has happened every time at the start of the match.
So once we
get
going,
of a best-of-3 series, it would be so much more dramatic and I think so much more problematic for both G2 and mousesports if this had happened 14-14.
Well, it looks
map
like
3.
Headsets going on at least,
yeah.
So that's positive, I suppose. We'll see whether this is going to be where we kick things off. Just to know, Voxic, the left-handed player, as you can see, one of the only pros I can recall that uses the actual left-hand setup.
Yeah, it's like Voxic, Machine.
Well, two of them, sorry, you're right. But you can comment on this. Even most left-handers will still use their right hand of the mouse, right? It's quite rare for a left-hander to fully commit to their left-hand mouse.
It almost exclusively happens when, from a young age,
yeah,
you naturally put it in your left hand and no one corrects you.
Exactly.
And then as soon as the habits are formed, as soon as you've played, 100 hours of your first video game, you're locked in.
Okay, well there it is. So that's just sort of context there.
Yeah.
He can't just use any mouse. He needs an ambidextrous mouse, which allows him to actually hold it in the correct manner. But either way, we are back into the action. We'll hope that Voxic is sorted. We don't really have much info for you, I'm afraid. I'm assuming the fact we're live that he is at least in a playable position.
Ooh, let's get this party started. First best of 3, first team locking themselves in for the Legends, and a long one. Vertigo will be our third map, and of course we have got ourselves Train in front of us now. A fast start from the French, got himself a double AWP coming into the first 5 rounds from mousesports, and Frozen so very brazen. He chooses to swing out, and his teammates finish what he started. Voxic in the meantime is Molotov to death. Didn't quite get to catch that one.
5 HP, so he touched the flames as he was retreating blind, so he just accidentally jumped into the fire, and we'll find ourselves with a 4 versus 3 now. Frozen still low, and at this stage we'll work out as to whether this is where mousesports even post around here. Carragher looks like he's done for. Jax has spotted him at E-box, and we'll wait for his opportunity now to strike. Is this going to be enough? 1 minute on the clock, and still plenty of G2 players alive with a double AWP setup here.
I think the damage done to Frozen's going to come back to haunt Mouse. He really cannot be proactive. He wants to push through green. Actually, he's still considering it with the smoke present. But G2, they've got that 4-man stack, 3 of them towards the site. And Jax is going to finish off what Amanek started towards E-box right at the genesis of round 4.
Well then, it was looking quite good actually. They're getting positional control mousesports, but they had to run through the flames as we saw. It took so much damage upon entry. And now we'll see Rops. He is a bit of a trained specialist, but a 4 versus 1 with no bomb doesn't look likely, and Shox is on the hunt. Looking towards T-Spawn, Rops will hold on to his AK-47 with the looks of things. As we're seeing the conclusion of round number 4 here, it's G2 that have had a perfect run so far on the CT side.
And I just took a deep inhale of breath because I realized that this is a best of 3 with Kenny S, Shox, Jax, Rops, Frozen, Chris J, Voxic. This is such a fire combination.
Double AWP setups on both teams is pretty deadly. So you've got Kenny S and Lucky operating on the G2 side. Then you have Voxic and Chris J available. Carragher as well, a very proficient AWPer.
And having a major run, a major performance, unlike anything we've seen from him so far. Admittedly, it is only day 2, and G2 4-0. Let's see what they have in response. I know Rops is on the AK-47, of course, saving that, but it does look like they want to have some bells and whistles alongside him, a couple of vests and a scout being thrown into the hands of Voxic with his, I assume, a new mouse.
Nice work from Jax there. Lovely shots being delivered left, right and centre. We're getting to round number 5, ladies and gents. We have a saved AK for Robs, but he gets no cash, and his teammates in a similar sort of situation. They'll take Deagles and armor. They have 1 scout for Voxic, and usually we would say that's a tantalizing prospect, Alex, but at this point when we know he's got issues with the mouse, it might not be as exciting as usual.
I mean, yeah, until I get a carbon answer that it's the same mouse or it's the same sense, there will be an element of doubt surrounding Woxic for me.
Well then, defaults of sorts with the Deagles here. That's going to hold up to main choke points. They've got control of Pop Dog. There's still possibilities to win this round. They've got excellent, talented players within their roster of the mousesports squad, and they've got Rops on the AK-47 as well. The problem is no grenades, and you're going up against double Orbs there. The only way you can shut down Orbers like Kenny is if you can actually get those smokes down, flash them off, and make them uncomfortable. Right now, he can just sit boosted up in the connector, watching towards the main choke points, but he does miss the first shot at least, but doesn't take any damage, so that's absolutely fine. And he should be able to nail that one as Jax strikes first. Kenny with a second bite of the cherry there. He had an opportunity for a couple of kills, but Jax takes them either way. So it's a 5 versus 3 with Rops still alive here.
Gorgeous movement just to catch the base of the ladder. Silently descends into Pop. Smoke will keep him at bay for now. Any chance at this round hinges on Rops, the Estonian wonder child. Of course, got a fantastic look behind the curtain, courtesy of Tom Newman with that incredible documentary. I haven't seen it, worth checking out. The story of Rops, I believe. You'll find it from the Face It Major.
That is a very good one.
Very, very good video, and definitely will tug on your heartstrings.
Yeah, that's excellent. Speaking of excellent, we've got 2 AKs on the G2 side. Jax and Shoxy looking very strong right now. The double orb setup as well. They're 5-0 up, and this is a great start, but very early days. And the CT side of train, this can happen. And we're getting to the first real gun right now. We've got Orb for Voxic and 2 Kriegs, 2 AKs, everything they need. Rob's without utility, considering he didn't get that extra cash from the previous round, where he had to save. But now a chance to get back into this one. Voxic, I'm really worried about this mouse situation playing in the back of his mind.
It's not even him, there's also his whole team.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Like, I mean,
I can imagine myself being, I try to put myself in this teammate head. You're trying to be nice about it. It's like, we can't have this every day.
No.
This is a big game now. We need to have
and you've just done your
zero
whole
of
team
these sort
talk.
of issues. Yeah.
You've just played the first 3 rounds. It's time for your first buy. And
I get it, it's not his fault, but you can't turn up to an event like this without spare gear. Like, I would forgive not having a spare keyboard, headset, whatever, but the mouse, just have 2 of them. Just whatever happens, just PSA to all pros, aspiring pros out there, get 2 of the mouse you need and you love if you're not good at changing over, especially if you have very specific needs like a left-hander.
And certainly if it's a discontinued
Exactly, that's a good point. And we go though towards the outside bomb site. It'll be Kenny striking first, and he is making them dance. Around the bomb site they go. It's AWP shots being connected. Every single one successful so far, but Frozen is still alive and kicking. They might have a chance in this round still. It goes down to the 2-on-2.
Was this a 2-on-5?
Yep.
My
Kenny
goodness.
with 3 to kick things off.
Kenny mowed them down. Frozen, the fact that he's still alive is a surprise. Well, he's lost his backbone. He's got no HP for this, surely.
We'll see what he can do. He has 1 flash. Time to work with, but still needs to recover the bomb and get 2 kills on Lucky and Shox.
And talking of time, the fact that it's passing, the fact that Frozen hasn't showed, has got Shox rotating onto inner. Possibility of a flank, admittedly. The bomb's loose on site.
That's what he's going to do. Shox is going to push towards Pop Dog now, because he knows he's confirmed that the bomb is down. He's got time to actually go towards Pop Dog. If he tries to plant, he's not going to expect Shoxy from the Pop Dog positions. Every second he doesn't plant in a great spot. Lucky spotted him.
So cool!
Yeah, Lucky has seen him now, so now Shoxy can actually get his skates on and just challenge this plant.
Yeah, but the fact that he jumps over Lucky's scope, he might even be able to get the plant. It's not possible. There's a Molotov, there's an AWP. It's all in vain. And vanity certainly is going to be felt for G2. 6-0, they are flexing and they are saving. Closing in on 10k for the majority of the French now. We're heading into round 7.
So the execution comes in, but you can see Kenny S looks way too comfortable here. It's 3 great kills, don't get me wrong, but by his standards, he's happy with that. The fact he wasn't really flashed, the smokes weren't really protecting mousesports in any way. They were running through grey screen and Pop Dog as well. So Kenny S takes easy shots by his standards and makes it look very comfortable. Fair play to Frozen, some nice shots there, but they don't get the plant down. And yes, there are maximum loss bonus, but that's only $3,400 per player, meaning that yes, you can buy here, but you won't have the AWP. Robs has $3,500, so does Voxic. They can barely buy AKs. So here are the frag leaders so far. Frozen gets the majority of his kills in the previous round. I think he got all 3 there. But they'll be on Deagle Armor this round as they're 6-0 down on their map pick. Mousesports in a lot of trouble here. This does 2 next, which I will say is good signs at least, because they play that map a lot. They have a 100% record on it, but they've only played it 3 times at this point. G2, that's their best map. You know, that's where they do their best work. So if they're playing like this today, this could be a rough one for Mousesports.
They have come out of the gate swinging. Frozen has 2 already. So deep into the site, but it's not going to be met by anything other than dismay. 3 frags, very quick succession from the CTs. Robson Woxic just having a conversation. It's only the Glock for the latter, and that nade lands right into the chest of Rops. Starts in the wound, and I'm not sure they're going to have anything to show for this round. Didn't bring much into it, admittedly. That is the end of that. Amanek restrained and G2 poised for an incredible CT run. I talked about the funds and I'll continue to mention them. They still are building up quite the bank. 7-0. mousesports can't break the drought. Sure, they'll be buying.
Yeah, but no one's fragging.
There's
3 players on 1 kill.
They have 9 frags in total. Jax has got 9 frags individually. It has been somewhat of a mismatch for now. Just fragging out for the last 3 rounds, back to back to back, just eliminations. Now the buy's back.
Back to back to back, and we're back.
Will they crack?
This is why we're so good together, Alex. It's such a smooth cast.
Oh, definitely. And that's all right, I guess.
That is so weird. So they both take each other down. So they both hit their shots and both get a kill. That's fair.
It is also somewhat of a signature move from Voxic, and this is too. They love this aggressive double hold, and an AWP is actually pretty poised perfect for Kenny. He's not going to be taken down. Caught by Carrigan. It's only a tag. But aggressive takes on this T-Con have been rewarded twice now. First with SMGs, second with Kenny's aggressive. Talking of aggressive, look at Shoxy up the ramp. And goodbye, good night. I'll be back in the sight.
Yeah, Rops is known to play the Brown Halls area, specifically upper ramp, almost every single round their default. So Shoxy knows, even when it's quiet, there's a chance Rops is just lingering. Carrigan snuck through, though. He's got towards Connector. They have got a slight chance now. Even in a 4-on-2, Shoxy has given them no information here. Carrigan knows he's onto something. So Chris J, his objective now is hold the phone. He doesn't have to do anything. Just stay alive and see what Carrigan can do here. Carrigan needs to be very careful. He's going to go for the kill towards Shoxy, actually. He's got a free one. He knows it as well. He can actually knife Shoxy if he wants to at this stage. He's not going to be checking behind him. So here we go. Free kill. He's going to spot him. And will he wait? He'll let his teammate get close. So let me kill him.
Wait for him to cross.
There we go. Now the pounce.
Wow, the clock starts.
That would have made you crap yourself, by the way.
That is terrifying for Shox. I guess I've lost the sight. Lucky flashed off, forced off, and now with a bomb down, they've got to play this after plant perfectly. Just the two of them. Carrigan, Chris J, no utility. The Molotov does get thrown. And bullets exchanged during the flashbang, both doing the dance. Jax does throw out his Molotov. I can't come back to haunt them now. Kenny and Lucky both on that AWP. That makes this difficult. Not hard for Lucky to find the first. Now Carrigan 1 versus 2.
Yeah, he's got his work cut out for him, but he's done a great job to even get them in this position. Could this be the first round for mousesports? The bomb's in the open.
Don't have to.
He's going to miss the first shot, but there it is. The round will still go in favor of G2. It's a comfortable defuse in the Ember. Nice work there. Very innovative stuff there from Carrigan. He could have gone for the backside towards CD Spawn, but he realized Shoxy's probably still here. They wouldn't just leave inside open. He finds him, takes that kill down. They get the bomb planted. There was a real chance there, and a 4-on-2. He brings it right down to 2-on-1, but still, it will be another round for G2.
I wonder if that conversation was Kenny asking what happened. You know, Shox is having to explain.
This is what happened.
This is exactly what happened. Nice work from Carrigan to find a gap. I mean, they made something out of nothing. That round was over.
If they win that round, they might have some wind in their sails behind them, but unfortunately, that doesn't do much for them. Yes, you've taken some money out of G2, but they're 8-0 up, and they still have 7k residual cash on Shox. So it's an 8k, I should say, and 9k. Everywhere. It's everywhere. That really hasn't done anything for them. It's sad to say.
Now that is a retro AWP from Voxic. Excuse me, Kenny S is what I was trying to talk about, but Voxic's so quick to shut him down. It's already on the battlefield. Where do you go from here? This looks great from mousesports, poised with that pick. They're already starting to push out Ivan. This is going to be a pincer maneuver. This could be the perfect time to show up. Jax only gets the one. Amanek left to his own devices on site. Does have the rotate towards backtracks. Ivy could be a point of contention. Nice work from Rops to clear the site. And now, for the first time, it feels like in this game, G2 are at a disadvantage, but looking to change that from 2 versus 4. It's 2 versus 2. We're still 60 seconds. This round changes in a flash.
Yeah, blink and you miss it. Rops and Frozen, 2 of the strongest fraggers within the mousesports ranks. Can they make much of this? Lucky. Poise with the AWP. Bomb recovered on the back of Frozen. We have Rops all the way into T-Storm. Shoxy is going to strike, but can't quite find the head. This is surely where mousesports can find some success here. They lose this 2-on-1 to an AWP, they'll be gutted. All the utility Lucky could ask for. He can smoke the bomb. He can flash them off. He can incendiary behind Sturden Trains. We'll see whether he can find any sort of wiggle room here. Frozen smoking the bomb. Pop Dog maybe? Not quite enough. Frozen, he had the peek down. He knew it. So there it is. Nice work. You see what Lucky was building up there. He's going to smoke the bomb, incendiary towards the Pop Dog area, maybe flash and defuse. issues and hope for a miss, but wasn't meant to be, and it's going to be the first round on the board there. Now the money will start to be a bit of an issue. G2 will spend a lot of their cash here. They'll probably have $1,500 left over per player. Not a nightmare, but certainly not where you want to be, as Rops will find that all-important kill on Shoxy, who is ready for it as well. You could see him poised, looking towards that position, couldn't quite find the headshot, commits to a full spray, doesn't get the damage.
He had his crosshair between main and that exit. It was a choice between the two. Then that second it took him to adjust was enough for Rops' spray to be converted. And so mousesports find their first, ladies and gentlemen. It took them 9 rounds to do it. An incredibly strong start, admittedly though, on the CT side of Train. Many teams have started to question how intense that bias is in favor of the defense. We've seen some incredible T sides, but far from ideal for Mouse.
See what can be done here. Can they continue with the success they found in the previous round?
It's almost fragging. I mean, the core issues lie is that we're not seeing the frags delivered. They've been losing those jewels. It's as simple as that.
Well, Galil out for Karrigan this round. They do have the AWP for Voxic. We'll see. Frozen throwing a bit of utility to start, but Amanek gets himself burrowed in towards Pop Dog. Good grenade through the lower ramp area. It's going to be taking Voxy down to 46. That really connected well. Amanek spots one, but that was the idea. They just want to get some intel from the CT side. No time to react to it. Fires back up, and it's the first kill for Lucky. Just repeat this. Well, Shoxy's going to find everyone before he can. What a beautiful sequence this is from G2. Very lackluster from Mouse. Where's the smoke? Where are the flashbangs? Where's anything?
How does Lucky just have to look at ramp and...
They didn't deploy a single bit of utility. They were going for a surprise burst there, and Frozen's just like, look at this POV right now, Alex.
Yeah, he's hands off the mouse and keyboard.
You can't do that. That's not cool. You can't just sit there pretending you don't care. What's he doing? He's AFK. I don't like that at all.
Maybe a tech issue?
No, he's just so like jaded with what's happening right now. He's like, I think the issue they have, whatever it was the mouse, I'm not sure. Obviously playing on his mind. Like, you should never just give up on a round because your teammates are dead. Like, he just took his mouse and hands off the keyboard. Maybe it was a technical issue.
Let's find out. We'll see if we can get a camera on
Like, it can't be him just randomly crashing there.
No, I don't think so.
That would be very... If it has happened, fair enough, but it looked like he just kind of gave up with the round.
And this...
To be fair, he has left the server, so I take it back. It looks like he legit just got booted out of the server randomly as his teammates died.
Do you remember the Fury? I think it was Yuri or someone. We had one player who did just... it was actually on Inferno, so it can't have been Fury. But we've seen one example of a player kind of freezing and not making sense and then disconnecting. Perhaps tech issues.
It was just that the timing was very odd there. His teammates died and then he just takes his hands off the keyboard and mouse. Yeah. So, odd, to say the least. But he's back on the server now. I can't tell you what that was.
Technical pause.
Because he didn't ult tab because he disconnected from the server. So what could it have been?
They're yet to unpause, likely something they're still looking to resolve. But the reason you're staring at G2 is it looks like we're going to be jumping straight back into this one, and they hold quite the lead. Let's see that again.
Let's have a look at this. So they did one flash, which was not effective at all. Shoxy's just there, finding all those free kills. They're so focused towards that connector presence because they weren't expecting to have an AWP looking right down at them at the lower ramp. It doesn't work out for them at all, and they were hoping there would just be one player anchoring there with the M4 and they could take him down.
Look at the AWP leaders. That's a sign of the times. Is Lucky. He's been getting so many opportunities with that AWP as the secondary. They haven't had to really dig deep, get him back on the rifle. They've been given that luxury. This time, however, against the sidearms, I mean, you fall to those deagles. They close that gap. It can get awkward, can get dicey. Highly unlikely that they'll be able to find the early frags, though. Kenny's already found one. Chris J's gone. That's not bad. Frozen with a response. They swing out on E-Box, but they are all exposed, and they don't have utility for the longevity. They have to continue to find these fights.
Yeah, they absolutely do. One behind E-Box is going to be Robs, and Lucky seems to be very aware of it, but it's still a one dig from Frozen.
Hello?
There's a chance here. They need a couple more where that came from. Let's see what they've got left in the tank. It's Robs, who's getting closer and closer to the bomb set. That's an excellent shot there from Shoxy and Frozen. He's got 2 so far. Has he got anything left? Apparently not. It's double digits. This is the pick of mousesports, bear in mind. But from what it's seeing so far, I really feel like those issues have plagued them going into the game. This isn't the usual mousesports here. Yeah. The rounds they're presenting and what they're doing just doesn't seem to be the usual team, especially a map they've picked as well.
I can't help but feel, yeah, there is certainly an element of that. The fact that, you come straight into another game, it's like new day, spotting the legend stage on the line, you've had your team talk, you've had your veto, you've had your warm-up, sit down, and there's a 20-minute technical. The same thing that plagued you and caused so much stress for you in your victory, and hard-earned victory versus a Vanguard in overtime. Still, let's find out how this one shapes up. Double digits for G2, just 11 rounds in. That's saying something.
Yeah, here comes the run boost. Voxic desperate to open things up here. Oh, it's Kenny S, though, who will react quickly. He's having a great showing here, Alex. That's another opening kill. Takes down one of the greatest scalps of mousesports at that point. It's going to be Voxic removed. 5-on-4 favor for G2 and 10-1 overall in the pick of their opposition.
Yeah, mousesports, they were probably already at the back of their minds thinking about that veto. Dust 2 next. Vertigo should we desire. Jay's making his presence known, breaks the glass with his Glock, doesn't want to reveal the AWP, picked it up from Voxic. You see a smoke thrown out, actually, I believe that was from Frozen. He's trying to back up his teammate Carrigan, who's going to try and sell some presence on that outer sight.
For people that follow Carrigan teams, he is known for this on most maps. He's very good at timing, and I'll explain why the in-game leader does that as we get an opportunity. But for now, Kenny pulls on back. They have to go towards Pop Dog. 30 seconds remaining. They have to go one by one. Somehow Chris J hits that shot, and there's a chance now. 3 versus 2, 25 seconds remaining. Kenny misses the shot. They have an even greater chance at this stage, but looks like it's all under control. Chris J actually gets tagged up a little bit, down to 42 now, as Kenny looks to finish things off. Maybe a little bit overzealous there. Perhaps. 13 seconds remaining. He will go for the plant. I think it's going to come through, but Shoxy is there to shut it down. He'll get the plant. That means another buy next round with the maximum loss bonus. Impressive scenes there from Chris J to hit that shot towards Pop Dog Room, but there was never really any danger that G2 gave that one up.
No, Amanek, you could see how poised he was. He could hear the steps. His teammates were making the call. His dream is 2. His objective was 1. He got it. Let's see this from Kenny again. The run boost, he was so quick to adjust.
Yeah, very, very good. Nice to see Kenny hitting those shots. Use the USP to take down Carrigan, and I'll explain it now. So
yeah,
the
let's
reason
talk it through.
In-game leaders will usually be the one to have that sort of flank or lurk play, whatever you want to call it, is because they don't want any input lag when they make their decisions. They want to be the one deciding when the right call has been made, when they've done enough on that side of the map to get the aggro, and they can see they've got presence detected, and they can call, now is your opportunity to go. Instead of relying on someone else to give you false information, you know there's no input lag when you decide.
And you don't have to process calls and create an idea in your visualization.
It might seem with the in-game leaders, not with the squad, but that's perfect. That's what the best single leaders should be doing.
Quick one. Smokes all falling in full execute coming up from mousesports. They're looking to do some early damage. Amanek hugging the wall and takes the round off. He has to do some huge work here. Amanek's back was turned. There's no trade. Kenny's on the side, misses a shot. Nice work from Jax. He emerges from Pop, and damn, he does pop off. Double kill. Carrigan's head rolling as well. Just Rops left alone. Jax is already looking at him. And Kenny's got the AWP train there too. And this is a slaughter, Henry. This was posted as being the game of the day. A best of 3 versus 2 top 10 teams. I mean, it really is.
Luckily, it's a best of 3, right? They're going to have 15 minutes after this map to work out what's going on. They're not out of it just yet, but it's not looking good. I'll say that much, because now, once again, no bomb plant coming down. Not really any damage inflicted there whatsoever. G2 aren't missing any shots. They are hungry today. And this is our first 2-0 game, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of this game itself will have a lot of days off for the next segment, and they're into the next stage of the tournament. Yeah. So this is massive for G2 especially. They can stop putting themselves out there. There's not going to be as much information out there about them. They don't have to play any more games, and they can just go back and watch what's happened so far and work on how they're going to evolve as the tournament goes on.
And their evolution is a story in itself. I mean, G2, it was a story of disappointment for oh so long. The removal of Body to bring in Amanek was the most recent change, and it does seem to have ignited somewhat of a new lease of life into this French roster. If I told you a French team on day 2 of the major would be 12-1 up against mousesports, you'd likely have thought Vitality. Quite the contrary. Fast again, rinse repeat for mousesports and rinse repeat for the kill feed. Lucky gets the opening shot this time, and Chris J quick to trade, but Lucky's not done now. Doubles up.
Really not, is it? These AWPs have been a thorn in mousesports' side, and we'll see now if they're going to do any damage this round. It was looking pretty good. They got some access towards the outside area, but now 3 versus 1, and Carrigan, if he gets that kill, maybe there's a chance. Now there is again. Lovely shot. Bomb still down. Up against 3 though. 1 minute 20.
Where's that bomb? It's wide open.
The thing is about Carrigan, right? People forget this about him. In his career, when he needs to clutch, when his team are desperate for rounds, he actually normally can pull these sort of rounds off. And he's got enough time to work with. He's a very smart, cerebral player. We'll see whether this is enough. He'll get lucky. You can see he's got himself in a decent position. They have no idea. He's got at least 1 here, but that will keep his spot up. Oh dear.
What are the chances of that? Just as Lucky has the timer in his brain that Ivy's a possibility, he turns to meet Carrigan, puts the barrel in his belly and pulls the trigger. 13 then to 1.
That's devastating. I need to see that from Lucky's POV. He is playing like a madman right now.
Yeah, we saw him turn. It was a perfect turn just as Carrigan was about to take that fight. No sound cue, just intuition. And perhaps a little bit of luck.
Yeah, well, there you go. Living up to the name. We'll see if the AKs and Kriegs can make a dent here. They've got 1 smoke and 3 flashes. No one's gone for utility. Ideally want someone to go Mac 10 or something, or Galil, just so you have a bit of utility here. Carrigan, that's audacious, I'll say that much.
I mean, he's vulnerable to a nade. Here it comes, and well, there it goes. And now Amanek to fight that finds a perfect shot. The flash didn't really dissuade him from holding that line. Rob's trying to use this smoke. We saw Jax do it oh so well from the CT perspective. Now, Rob's trying to use the very same smoke to find frags. Amanek's having no issues. They just take it in turns to open this defense up. But this time, there's a bit more resistance from Chris J and Frozen.
We're off. 13-2 is recoverable, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, it's Train after all. But I think that team talk, that halftime team talk would have to be something quite special. Coach has got his work cut out for him, Radiant.
Here we go.
Again. Number 2 with the bomb in hands on Ivy, and Woxic realizes he has to just play the survival role in this 3 versus 2.
Oh, he won't see him because it's scope, but it's still, he will adjust, and it's a lovely shot from Chris J. He knows this 2 rounds would be enough. Lucky, who's been playing out of his mind so far. 2 versus 1, final round of the half. Switches to the P250. He knows one of these players is low. He'd have got the call that wanted him dinked. He'll spot that first player now. Gets them, no problem at all. 1 versus 1. Chris J, very good in these sort of scenarios as well. He's got the advantage here. One of the most difficult sites to clutch on, especially when you have the AWP. No smoke, it is working for mistakes at this stage, and Chris J gets in the same position his teammate just died in. Lucky has no idea. If he touches that bomb, he's done for. A chance there. Now he knows where he is. He's got to operate very quickly indeed. Gets up on the ladder. He'll have to go for a quick shield, then defuse. Oh, there's no chance, surely. Chris J just has to stay alive at this point. I think he's done enough. And looks like Lucky will finally be taken down. He hits the shot to close things out, but it's not enough to get the kill. It's 13-2 at half. mousesports on their pick will have to go something absolutely huge here in the second half, Alex. They're going to need a pistol victory. They're going to need absolutely everything going in their favor, but it's not over yet. We'll take a break and be back with the second half.
"13 rounds on the defense. Map 1, our first best of 3. Winner of G2 Mouse will be locked in for the Legend stage, the very first team to do so, and day 2 of the Starladder Berlin Major. I'm Machine, and I'm casting alongside Henry G. mousesports. They've been plagued by issues in and out of the server for this series. We saw, of course, Woxic's mouse issues rear their ugly head once again, the same that plagued them in their victory versus a Vanguard now showed face at the start of Train. It was mousesports' pick, and already trailing. This is going to have to be quite some CT side, Henry?
It will have to be one for the ages. But like we said, it's their pick. There's no reason why they can't dish out equal treatment they just received. Either way, pistol is where it all begins. They've got 4 sets of Kevlar on the CT side, a defuse kit for Carrigan with the HE as well. No smoke. So we'll see a challenge towards Ivy here. Lots of damage done. You can see why that HE has been picked up. It does a lot of collateral damage there as he gets the opening frag as well. Chris J gets tagged to 4 HP, and Amanek waits for any sort of response here towards the main entrance.
I think Frozen's going to give it to him. Trying to crouch under the crosshair, and he did have an opportunity. Bullets don't connect, though. Chris J's low in the meantime. He's still willing to take that fight, and it works out for them. mousesports, a flurry of frags, 2 for them. Kenny starts to use that smoke as a wall. Unfortunately, you can shoot through that one. And Carrigan does exactly that. Swift from Jax with the P250, but he is all alone up against the entire squad. Looking for an ace clutch. That's a start.
Wow.
And a huge one. This is why we're seeing so many P250s in the pistol. That damage fall off, it's almost doubled.
Jackson Lucky flying the flag at the very top of the scoreboard. 19 kills so far. And this is possible, considering Chris J's HP. It's not like he can't do this. We'll see whether he can get Frozen first. Looking towards... Oh, God.
This is a sniper in the hands of Jax.
What is this?
The best $300 spent so far.
This would be wild. If he pulls this one, I think it's the bomb as well,
Chris
Alex.
low as well. 25, though.
Yeah.
They're cowering in Z. He's been given a lot of freedom. G2, they start to hold their breath. This has been quite the heroic start to the second half of our first map here. 13 seconds, he starts to get the bomb in. They're going to try and go as a pack. Jackson on again!
No!
This is absurd! Looking for the 1v5, and Woxic takes it from him!
Oh my goodness gracious
Madness.
me. If he pulls that one off, it's a clutch of the year. It's a clutch of the tournament. It would have been insane.
Oh,
5-on-1 at a P250 in the pistol.
My skin is crawling. Look at this. It's just gorgeous from every step.
He might have done enough, though, because now they get the bomb plant down, and he can afford so much. With the kills he got, they're going to buy up next round. I'm almost certain of it.
Oh, my God.
If he wins that...
If that one taps on Woxic, he crits Chris J for 4.
A little bit overwhelmed, aren't you?
Sorry, my skin's all vibrating, and there's like goosebumps on my arms. Woof.
So, with Jax, he's got $4,200 right now. If the scoreline wasn't 13-3, I'm almost certain they would buy up. But I guess they've got this huge buffer. They're actually doing the correct thing, which is just take this one on the chin and buy it properly next round. Yeah. You have a really strong buy. You can even bring out an orb, Jax to drop one.
I just saw Kenny go back to spawn to buy a P250. I think he's been inspired.
Yeah, he's like, that can look pretty good, actually.
What's that? Like,
that's not bad.
It's not an orb.
Yeah, like Alex said, that pistol is not deep on the T side. That's $300. So you can get that and a smoke, and you can actually have a very strong stance. But it's Chris J doing things up. He'll get Shoxy, and luckily for mousesports, there is no force buy here, but they'll be up against the AKs next. And that's why they focus really on the rifles this round. They're hoping the force buy didn't come through. They won't have any utility this round, but they'll be prepared for round number 3.
Setting themselves up for the long haul. As you have to, if you want to think about the win. That's a strange one from Woxic. He's missed 2 sitters on a low HP player there. I say sitters, of course, the scout not the easiest weapon to maneuver with. Woxic, however, usually very comfortable with it. Perhaps that mouse still plaguing him. Now it is. 3rd time's the charm. Jax falls, and this round should be all but done. Yeah, concluded by another double from Carrigan. Lucky surely going to give him an extra $600 into the pocket of Frozen. And we're off to the races. To keep everyone standing, the utility that you mentioned will now be picked up.
Indeed.
And the road...
Jax... Oh, they've got an orb. So Kenny could just buy his own orb. Jax is like, can I keep my money strong and get all the utility? They've gone for it. So it's glass cannon for Kenny.
Okay, T-side glass cannon.
Kenny could have been dropped the orb and had armor himself, but they're fine with this, it seems. You want to keep your money as strong as you can on Kenny, but I guess he's so confident in the shots he's hitting today. It won't be an issue. The scouts in the hands of Woxic. Robs with the FAMAS. Could be the 3rd run on the board in the second half of G2 here. Rob's aggressive.
Very aggressive. Going to be backing away. Did catch the info on 1, just lucky, no bomb spotted. Currently in the grasp of Kenny S on that glass cannon orb. Shox and Amanek having a leisurely stroll down towards Ivy. Carrigan, the concierge, ready to greet them with a smoke. Bit of a trade, actually. Lucky catching Frozen, Chris J quick and response from Pop.
Even for now. Firepower in favor of G2, that's for sure. Chris J trying to get some intel here, pushing towards the main entrance. Sits there patiently, flashbang goes in. He will start to get control of that position now. Smokes it off, buys some time. Things start to calm down somewhat.
This worked out so well for G2 in their defensive half. This aggressive take in main. Chris J's the one behind it this time, but actually choosing to count on the fear of his presence to slow them down enough. He doesn't have to stay there, doesn't have to take the fight. A deep smoke, a fired shot, and disappearing act.
Kenny's got a flash.
I think Kenny might be getting a flash.
Yeah, he's got a flash for them.
Let's have a little look. Perhaps a flash into Carrigan's face. Here they come. Smoke off one side. That's the backtracks player locked out. There's none there, though. And so Carrigan, he knows he's about to get given a fight. All three of them at the same time. It's too much for him. Overwhelmed. Molotov could not have arrived at a better time.
No way.
He shot through the flames. He thrives.
Wow.
That's insane. Chris J was in the prime position to completely destabilize this swing into the site, but that's enough. Shox realizes that kill is everything and stands in the flames to achieve it.
They have a very difficult decision to make now. Rops, the best he can really do is save that FAMAS and take it to the next round. Voxic, same story, the Scout, I'm afraid. He'll be able to drop a rifle next round. Rops will as well, but this is getting a little bit dangerous at this point. 14-4 and 4 players survive on the GT side. It means Kenny gets armor next round. They're all going to have you fully equipped with their grenades, and mousesports will be plugging holes across the board.
Yeah, the mousesports raft has certainly lost a couple of its bindings, that's for sure.
So he has to keep the Scout ready. Voxic could drop the Scout, I suppose, and I can't even afford the orb himself. They're really at the bottom of the loss bonus right now. That's the first stage.
Oof. Everything pointing towards a G2 map win here on Train. This was mousesports' pick, our first best of 3. If you've just joined us, welcome to the Starladder Major live from Berlin.
Yeah, and then the first best of 3 of the tournament as well. You've arrived just in time
for the nitty-gritty.
I hope you're enjoying your weekend. It's a lovely Saturday here. Sunny day in August.
It is.
It is Saturday, isn't it?
It's 5 p.m. and 29 degrees outside.
Wow.
That's quite a treat. But still, let's sit indoors and talk about video games, shall we?
That's the way I like it. So 2 FAMASes and a couple of M4s and the Scout. Really not the ideal setup for a 14-4 scoreline when you're trying to claw your way back into your map pick as well. This will be on the minds of mousesports. They give this one up 16-4. They go into Dust 2 as well. G2, the shots are hitting right now. This looks like every player is above and beyond what mousesports are presenting at this point. So main entrance push, I think they have to do it. They know they need something. They need a quick frag, something going in their favor, at least territory.
But that flash going off it's not much, but it's a sound cue. And look what that's caused. Kenny starts rattling off shots.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? We'll just let them have it.
Yeah, change of plan. God, the utility is grossly under present. Well, that's not how words work, Alex, but nice try.
It was a good try.
3 flashes and a smoke is what I'm trying to say. And that bomb up towards the showers.
Yeah, and that's what's going to be a cold one after this. Carrigan will get the first frag, and they have actually got the man advantage for now. We are going to see a 3 versus 4 in favor of mousesports. Rob's not alone necessarily towards inside. Voxic's there with the Scout, and he does connect the first shot, throws in a flashbang, but if he repigs this, there's a chance Kenny gets him, which he will. Robs needs multiple frags here. Gets one. Is there any chance of a trade? There it is. Advantage G2. AK and M4 on the retake here. Smoke towards connector. Bomb planted. Kenny with the AWP needs to try and wiggle his way out of this one.
Yeah, if he gets one here, job done. Anything else is a bonus. Lucky can finish this one off surely. Chris J looking to be the hero. He was their hero player. Uses the smoke as he's flashed to make sure he can recover safely. But Kenny just dancing around the bomb. That's a huge connection. Now it's time to play on the bomb. Smoke out and holding it. That's a guaranteed defuse. Just like that, Chris J saves mousesports. They live to fight another day. 14 then to 5. As the Dutchman saves them for the second time.
There he is, Chris J, keeping them in the game there. Comes down to a 2-on-1, and he notices that with the bombs planted, he's killed Kenny on the bomb site. It's likely the remaining teams have a lower ramp or upper. He's protected from both, and he goes for a cheeky 5-second defuse and holds his nerve, I would say, as we see the odds from GG.bets on your screens right now. G2 clearly the favourites at this point, but there is a chance on the CD side of a comeback. That's why they're not as skewed as you might think, perhaps, as we get into round 20. Buying into the round, it's not going to be a full investment from G2. They've got a couple of Mac 10s here. They're going to go for a very fast approach, I'd imagine. Try and get the money strong. Shut down the lack of utility on the CT side, or lack of helmets, as Rops gets a taste of the Mac 10, and they've got full inside control.
This is terrifying.
That makes so much sense, Alex. They've kept the money strong, knowing there's a chance they won't have helmets on the CT side. It came down to a 1v1 before. That's a sacrifice they had to choose, and it comes back to haunt them.
Someone's been crunching the numbers on G2.
Yeah, that was wild. If Shoxy read that and called that, situation. I love it.
10 points to Gryffindor. Kerrigan, he's got an eyesight, just can't quite connect the bullet on Bomb Train. This is such a hard retake. You have to start giving up, surely. Certainly when Jax is hitting shots like that, but so's Frozen. He's still present, and now it's a 1 versus 1. Has the kit, but time is of the essence. He has to get onto it. He only has the flashbang. Dives into the smoke as it still remains. 3 seconds, Shox is ready. And 15, match point, excuse me. Everyone going down and in the doldrums of the Counter-Strike economy.
Yeah, auto shotgun straight away from Frozen. Didn't even think twice about that. With the first second of freeze time, he pulled out auto shotgun straight into round number 21.
That button.
Yeah, he's like, you know what, boys, I've got the solution. Should have done this a long time ago. Here it comes. Deagles, shotguns, MP9s, oh my.
Oof, he gave it a good go on the way in. He lost his teammates too fast to stabilize. And
that's such a sick play. I hope the analysts break that one down and have more time to explain it than I do, because the fact you've made that sort of call is absolutely unbelievable. Really intelligent stuff.
And now that shotgun we talked about is only going to find one. This is looking bleak. Just Kerrigan and Rops to try and keep Train alive as a possibility for mousesports here at the Major. Dust 2 waiting in the wings. It was the Frenchman's choice, and that's perfect.
Damn.
The timing.
I think that's all she wrote for Train. And if you just joined us, this is the pick of mousesports. Our best of 3 is Dust 2 next, and that's a Fraggers map. G2 have done nothing but that. Mousesports have been slow, they have technical issues, and they find themselves at a 16-5 scoreline in the first map here. It's Vertigo the third if required. Kerrigan, no chance, really. A nice, pretty frag there, but he doesn't have a kit. Alex, he has nothing, really. It will just be for the scoreboard at this point.
Yeah, looking to just finish this one off. Perhaps another little 1D for their bonus points, but no, it will not be. And G2 start this series with quite the statement. They have thrown down the gauntlet to mousesports, saying, come and get us. It's our map next. And I think mousesports, we talk about Counter-Strike being a mental game. I think for some of the players, in fact, you know what? Woxic and Rops, 10 frags between them.
Yes.
I think that delay, that mouse, it's all getting under their skin.
Fox